In a bright little house on Mapleberry Lane, lived a cheerful boy named Morallo. He was 6 years old, with shiny brown eyes, curly dark hair, and a curious little smile that made everyone around him feel happy. Morallo loved playing with blocks, drawing animals with crayons, and making up funny stories with his toys. He lived with his mom, who made the best pancakes in the world, his dad, who told silly jokes and worked on a laptop, his big sister Mia, who was 9 and loved reading mystery books, and his baby brother Toby, who was only 2 and waddled around with a pacifier and his stuffed bunny. It was a sunny Saturday morning. The birds were chirping, the air smelled like fresh grass. And Morallo had already eaten his pancake with extra syrup. He was supposed to be playing outside, but today he felt like staying inside and pretending to be a superhero with his toy action figures. Whoosh! Morallo zoomed across the living room floor with his red cap fluttering behind him. His action figures battled invisible villains on the couch. He jumped, he spun, and he climbed up on the chair near the dining table, but just as he leapt off the chair with a superhero pose, his elbow bumped into something. Crash! The sound was sharp and loud. Something had fallen. Something had broken. Morallo turned around slowly. On the floor lay Dad's favorite blue mug, shattered into several jagged pieces. He gasped. Oh no! It was Dad's special mug, the one with the rocket ship on it. The one he drank coffee from every morning while humming little songs. Morallo's heart beat faster. He crouched beside the broken pieces and tried to fit them back together, but it was no use. His fingers trembled. What if Dad gets really mad? What if I get in trouble? Then Morallo heard tiny footsteps, tup tup tup. Toby toddled in with his bunny dragging behind him. And that's when a thought popped into Morallo's head, a small, sneaky, whispery thought. What if I say Toby did it? Toby couldn't even speak full sentences yet. He wouldn't remember. And maybe Dad wouldn't get so upset if he thought a baby did it. Just then, Mom peeked in from the kitchen. What was that noise? She asked, drying her hands on a towel. Morallo stood up quickly. Toby broke the mug, he said, pointing to his baby brother, who had now sat down and was playing with his bunny, completely unaware. Mom's eyes widened. Oh dear. Toby, sweetheart, did you touch the mug? Toby just blinked and clapped his hands. Oh my, Mom said softly. She sighed and began picking up the broken pieces. We'll have to be more careful. Morallo stood still. His heart was thumping. He had lied. Just one little sentence, but it felt big. It felt heavy. Later that day, Dad came home from the store. He looked at the kitchen counter and noticed the mug was missing. Where's my rocket mug? He asked. Mom gave a soft smile. It broke this morning. Toby knocked it down. Dad chuckled, that little guy. Well, I guess he's strong. Then he ruffled Toby's hair and walked away. Morallo watched from the hallway. Everyone believed him. No one knew he was the one who broke the mug, but instead of feeling better, Morallo felt funny. That evening, while playing with his toy blocks, Mia walked in and sat beside him. Hey, Morallo, she said, stacking blocks. You were playing superhero this morning, weren't you? Morallo looked up nervously. Yeah. I saw your red cape on the floor near the chair, she said, squinting. And there was blue paint on the floor. Like from your art set. The same paint that's on your hands now. Morallo quickly hid his hands behind his back. Mia gave him a knowing look. You didn't tell the truth, did you? Morallo's lips pressed together. His eyes dropped to the floor. I didn't tell Mom, Mia said kindly. But maybe you should. That night, while everyone was getting ready for bed, Morallo sat on his bed quietly. His stomach felt twisty. He thought about the mug. About Toby. About the lie. He heard Toby giggle in the next room. Even though he was just a baby, Toby trusted Morallo. He always hugged him, followed him, shared his bunny, and tried to copy everything he did. Morallo stared at his hands. The blue paint had dried. The lie had too, he whispered to himself, I don't feel like a superhero anymore. As Mom came in to tuck him in, Morallo felt tears in his eyes. Mom, he said softly. She sat down beside him and brushed his hair back. Yes, sweetheart. I have to tell you something. And just as Morallo opened his mouth to speak, Morallo sat on his bed, his hands clasped tightly in his lap. The room was quiet. Only the soft ticking of the clock filled the space between him and his mom. He stared at his fingers, then back at his mom's gentle eyes. I broke Dad's mug, he said, his voice barely louder than a whisper. Mom's eyebrows lifted just a little. She didn't say anything at first. She just looked at him, listening closely. I was playing superhero, Morallo continued, tears filling his eyes. I jumped off the chair and my elbow hit the mug. It fell and broke. Then, when you came in, I got scared. So I said Toby did it. But it wasn't Toby. It was me. One tear slipped down his cheek. I lied, he said. Mom didn't scold him. She didn't shout. She didn't even frown. Instead, she opened her arms and pulled Morallo into a warm hug. Oh, sweetheart, she whispered into his hair. Thank you for telling me the truth. Morallo cried softly against her shoulder. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get in trouble. But it made me feel bad all day. Mom nodded, still holding him. Telling the truth can be hard, especially when we're afraid. But lying makes our hearts heavy, doesn't it? He felt peaceful. He felt proud. He whispered to himself one last time, I'll always tell the truth. Even when I'm scared. And with that, Morallo closed his eyes, and the stars twinkled outside, just like tiny truth lights in the sky. Moral of the story, telling the truth may be hard, but it makes your heart light and your world bright.